The University of North Alabama has been educating students in the music and entertainment industry since 1975. One of the first programs of its kind in the country, and the first in the state of Alabama. We've got a lot to be proud of as we celebrate the program's 50th anniversary. We want to share some of the alumni and their UNA story.
Hi, I'm John Briggs, and this is my UNA story. A little bit of my story of how I ended up and going to UNA. I grew up in a family that was musically oriented. Matter of fact, both my grandfathers played in a band together here in the Lauderdale County area. So I'm a native of here and a big fan of the local scene. My brother was part of the First Month Show's rhythm section, first 3.5 years of hits. So by the time I grew up, I was pretty much wrapped up in music all the way through high school. It was just part of my life. When Terry Woodford started this program at UNA, I was aware of it, the commercial music program at University of North Alabama, and I just knew I had to be there. I was enthused about it because there was no other programs. Now, this is going back, 79 is when I finished high school, 1979. So I was not aware of any programs in the country that had commercial music, a mix of business and music as a degree. My favorite experience at the University of North Alabama was when Terry Woodford brought in Glenn Frey. I was a big Eagles fan, and so that was pretty intense to me because my passion for music was really big, and they were a massive band at the time. Terry was really good at bringing some big names in, and I know that in that particular class, a number of us went on to be in the business and had success in it later. So, but for us, it was a huge treat, and it was different than any other experience I ever thought I would have at any other university. And I remember it was in the music building, of course. There was a way Terry would interact with him, and Terry was extremely good at placing subject matter about the record company, how Glenn Frey progressed in his career. And it really helped us understand through Glenn's responses to those questions how the whole thing happened for them as a band. So Terry was really good at that. I mean, he obviously is a brilliant mind and had a good way of communicating to the class. You know, he was the main guy at that time. Things grew, and obviously more faculty came on board. But it was an exciting time, and Terry put a lot of time and effort to each class. And Terry was kind enough to allow me that. During that time frame, my internship, Terry and his wife at the time, they were looking at putting together Alabama Music Hall of Fame. And so when I interned there, I got to, whatever the assistance they needed, I would be there. Even when I was at Wishbone, I was in the publishing division, so I got to listen to a ton of music because I was making copies on the old Scully machine there at Wishbone Publishing. And it was kind of exciting times because you did everything. I mean, I even cleaned the cabins out there, 3 cabins, but it was just part of the experience. And it was very engaging getting to interact with people, whether it be in the studio adjacent to the publishing division or just listening to how the whole thing worked. So practical experience is taking it beyond the classroom, and that's one thing I think it was very valuable as my internships. UNA gave me all these opportunities to meet a lot of people, and in my own peer group, and I used to talk about this later with students that came through. I said sometimes you come up through your own class of people, and so those relationships from my classmates at UNA continued. There were writers that wrote for Rick Hall and Robert Byrne that came through during that time frame, the early days. So UNA has been interactive. For instance, Billy Lynn, Polygram, we became real close friends because of the UNA connection. Clay Myers, who he was at ran Roy Orbison's publishing company for a number of years. So yeah, there's a lot of UNA friendships that were built during that time frame. And Walt Aldridge, and still to this day, Walt and I'll talk a lot. I mean, he was a UNA grad, but also we spent a lot of fun times together, just going to football games, watching, doing stuff together, playing golf. So yeah, a lot of UNA interaction, and it benefited me having that relationship base, to be honest, because they would send me people It's like the interns things when Jordan Keller sent me the Backstreet Boys. I mean, he was an intern of mine. He went to law school. And so the interns or friendships, classmates, whatever, they all work together to help you to build your own base of business. My advice to anybody seeking a job or a career in the music industry is follow your passion. Regardless of what people say to you, I stuck with it. And I believed in myself that I could be somebody that can make an impact. And I hope that you have that same dream. And I hope you embrace it, and I hope you go for it. As an alumni, I smile every time I walk into places like this and see the facility, and the growth, and so many students have gone on and done so well. It's just a sign to see how it's continued to grow for this area and this region, the opportunities in the music business space. The thing I'm most proud about is the songwriters and the people that came through my office and the interns. That is what I reflect on more than any other thing, and the relationships I still have with some of them. I feel that the people I work with, I still hear from people that were either my assistants or we worked around each other. And of all the places I worked, ASCAP was over 25 years. It's a long time. That was a special place for me. And there were so many people, even which is ASCAP Expo, it's become the largest creative conference in the world now. That experience it's now called ASCAP Experience. It's grown so much. There's just so many things. So I'm really grateful for what UNA has brought to my life, and it's a big part of this community, and a big part of a lot of people's lives. So thank you, UNA.